Today is Wednesday, March 12th, 2025. Welcome to the Survivor Fans Podcast. I'm Joanne.
And I'm Stacy.
And this is our recap of Survivor 48, Week 3.
This episode's titled Committing to the Bit, and that was spoken by Mary.
She did a good job.
I told you they were doing David dirty, and they were doing David dirty in the extra clips, and then they brought it into the main part. So they're poking a little fun at him at the beginning there. Just before Jeff says previously on Survivor, where David says, I want to be a hero, I want to be a star, and it shows him goofing.
They seem to do that quite a bit. I don't know why.
Well, they're having a little fun at his expense. His ego is quite large, I'm sure, entering the room before he does. Okay, previously on Survivor, Star finds the beware advantage. Kevin tries to get Say. Justin shuts it down. Say plays the idol. Kevin's out. Mary is relieved, and she gets her vote back.
And the episode starts on night 5, and Mary now knows she's at the bottom.
Well, she's pretty clear.
Yeah, she was, but there's no question whatsoever now.
Yeah, not out on a limb. I'm just at the bottom.
I think she thought she at least had Kevin.
Say's wondering how she's going to rebuild the trust, because Cedrek and Justin shook her a little bit.
What do you think about Cedrek wanting to talk to her as soon as they got back? That kind of surprised me.
Wanting to talk to Mary?
Yeah.
Why did it surprise you?
Because I don't think of him and Mary as having communicated much.
Right. But then he fumbled the whole thing.
Well, yeah. But I still was surprised. You weren't?
No, he lacks any aptitude for the game, at least that we've seen so far. And so, no, it just didn't. There was no reassurance. It just rang hollow, I guess. And it seemed like that's how it registered with Mary too.
Yeah, it kind of did with me. But I thought the interesting part of all of that was Say being upset with the guys. But even though Cedrek came to her and told her, you need to play your idol, she was not happy about that. She didn't think she should have
for that reason
to play her idol.
Yes, and so it said there was some false security she had registered with Cedrek and Justin, and she declares, I can't have that.
Can't trust either one of them.
Guys.
Okay, then we go over to the Civa tribe, and David is telling them he's lost weight.
Translation, look at me. Look at my abs. Look at me.
I don't know. He kind of humors me in a way.
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
Well, maybe it's working for you. Kamilla's got him pegged. She explains for everyone who might not know what a Chad is that David is a textbook Chad, straight out of the meme.
I still say there's some insecurity in there, folks.
Well, what did you think of his sob story? Did that resonate? Did that really tug at your heartstrings? He sleeps in a trailer. He's 38, in a trailer out in front of his dad's house, and doesn't have enough money to marry his girlfriend and provide a home so she can stay at home and take care of their 4 kids. And he declares he's pathetic.
Which they don't have 4 kids, right?
Well, that's just the plan.
Wants to have 4 kids, but I can't see David. I'm thinking that's probably not going to work, David, because, love isn't always enough, and that's just reality. And if she's very goal-oriented, and he's not, I'm not sure why he's in the circumstances that he's in. And hey, at least he's got a place to live.
Yeah.
And got a trailer to live in. But I don't know. No, it didn't bring up
well, this is part of the
really.
Right.
It's just it made me more curious about, but what's going on? Why? why do you think you can't help make a living and have children together and raise them together? And why do you think you can't?
Well, he's
again,
not. I think that's. Well, I think that's what I was curious how you registered the extra information we got now with what you thought was his projected insecurities with all the braggadocio that he was doing in the first 2 episodes.
Yeah.
And the reason is pretty clear, is that he's not delivering financially. That's a big ask.
Yeah.
A wife and 4 kids that you can provide for is a significant amount of money, typically. Especially if you have to be in the LA area, because that's where you get your stunt work jobs.
Oh, that's right. See, I was trying to think, what does he do for a living? But I had forgotten. You would think they would.
He flies a plane.
Well, but they may not.
What does he not
jobs.
do? Yeah, according to him, what does he not do?
Well, still.
But he's here fighting for the future of his family.
Yeah, but I hate to see someone throw all the cards into one basket of, I'm going to win the $1 million so that I can provide, then I can have, then she will love me, then we will get married and have our children, and I'm ready to settle down. I'm unsure about all of those things, even if you won the money.
Do you feel like it helped explain a little bit of the massive compensation that you were picking up on?
Yeah, I think so, because I do think a lot of it's insecurity. He's always trying to make himself feel better, and I'm sure he knows he comes off as arrogant, but I think it's better to show that side of himself than to show what he sees as the real him. And I don't even know how accurate his assessment of himself is. So
okay, I think we've given David his due. Let's bounce over to Loggy there on day 6 of this 2-day cycle, 6 and 7. And the energy is low, but Joe, the fire chief's got an idea. Let's burn something.
Go, Joe.
Let's make a bonfire with the tools that they got. I didn't understand this. He's sensing low morale. He turns it into, I want to be a great dad and a good man, and I want my kids to be proud of me. I'm making a bonfire. That just didn't.
He's trying to help other people feel better.
Well, I get all the basic aspects of it.
I think it's just that simple.
Yeah.
But he needs to do it. That's where I see the problem. Again.
How does making a bonfire make you a great dad, though? Where's that coming from? And how does that make you a good man?
Just that he cares about other people and he wants to help them.
You get what I'm saying, though, right? Simple. Making a bonfire and these other things, they're incongruous. Yes. There's something awry here, too.
Yeah, I know. We've established that before as well, that there's a lot more going on underneath.
Shauhin provides a counterpoint, though. He said, Joe's my number 1, and he's all in with the Joe Thomas Cali Girls Alliance there, plus Bianca, plus Eva.
We'll see. I think he believes that at this time, but I don't know how that's going to work out if he was really nodding to Thomas about Eva. So we'll see. We'll talk about it when we get there. But
so they're watching Joe, and Star's off isolating again, working on the puzzle, and Shauhin tells us she's still likely to be first out.
Well,
and the fire worked for Eva, though. So I guess on that level it worked.
It worked for her. She appreciated it. She wanted to do something back for him, and she knew he wouldn't want to break friendship bracelet, but that his little girl would like it. And that's where all the fire really started. The flames got higher, and the other 2 guys are looking at each other like, no, I don't think we can have this. Joe's our boy. We can't let him be too close to Eva. And I think if they knew what he'd already committed himself to, they would really be concerned.
Yeah. Thomas says, sorry, Eva, you're gonna have to go. Okay, over to Vula.
Okay. I would just, before you move away from that.
Okay.
Thomas and his evil laugh. Now you know he's practiced that.
Yeah.
You know how he does that?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You know he's practiced.
His villain laugh. He practiced before he went out there. Yeah. I'm 100% with you on that. Okay, day 7, over to the Vula camp. Mary is up early, but she declares that she hates looking for stuff. And I thought, yes, that's exactly why you're going to get voted out. You're not going to put the effort in. You're not going to find an idol. I have you going.
That's right.
It's the path of least resistance for this tribe, this dysfunctional, completely broken tribe that production put together. You know, Pro's big argument is you never know what you're going to get if you do a schoolyard pick. But we know production can't balance tribes correctly. They've demonstrated it over and over and over again.
I'm not sure they really want to.
Yeah, it does sometimes feel like they want a disaster tribe because it gives you TV moments.
Shakes it up.
Yeah.
But for the record, I had say going because that's what I wanted, and I made my picks early and just stuck with it and didn't go back in.
Say also looking for that idol.
Was she really, though?
Well, she was for a little bit, and then she realized she needed to be watching Mary, and then she got mad at Cedrek. She told him, get up. You need to take a watch. You can't be napping in the middle of the day. You need to help me watch Mary. Really? And she's running. So Say I don't think Cedrek had to actually do anything because Say took off chasing Mary again.
I was so sure that he would want to vote her out just because of all the bossiness.
Yeah.
And especially waking up a nap. If you can get a nap out there, leave me alone. So, anyway.
Mary declares that she's having so much fun. She's glad she got to play with Say. And they respect each other.
Blah, blah.
But they can't work with each other.
Nope.
And Say's taunting her, run, Mary. Okay, back over to Civa on day 7. They are boiling clothes. It's laundry time.
Yep.
Disinfecting, hanging up to dry. And Mitch is everything's clicking. They're clicking as a tribe. So proud of us, he declares.
I was thinking, uh-oh.
He wants to work with Charity. And Charity says, well, I like you too, Mitch. Let's see if we can bring in Kyle.
And David.
And Mitch declares, no one's targeting us. So Mitch has no game sense.
Well,
he hasn't picked up on the threat.
They're certain that if they have an alliance with Kyle and David, that there's their meat shields. They got nothing to worry about.
They got a majority and 2 meat shields. Would be a pretty good thing. So we see Mitch wanting to get some time with Kyle so they can talk strategy. They want to go out in the boat, and they promptly flip the boat. And they're back in and paddling out. And Kyle tells us that's what he wanted to do. That's the reason they're out in the boats, to get out there and talk a little strategy.
I actually thought Kyle would be a lot more athletic than he is.
Right.
He really doesn't seem to be all that great in some of the challenges and stuff. So that surprises me.
But he's sitting in a good position, he tells us.
Yeah.
He's got 2 groups that want him in an alliance, and so that's always the most powerful place you can be in these little tribes, is to
right up
be in the middle.
You got to show your hand one way or the other.
But he's got options. He can go with David and Chrissy and Kamilla, and he can also go with Mitch and Charity and bring in David, and then so they've got it covered that way. So he is sitting in a pretty good place, and he reminds us that he has that idol.
Who has an idol?
Kyle.
Oh, I thought you said Mitch had an idol. So no, he's got a block of vote. Okay, then we go over to Loggy, and Eva starts talking about
I was impressed.
Star. And that
I didn't think Eva had that in her, actually.
And she does, obviously. Yeah. That Star hasn't talked strategy with her, and that she wants to talk to her.
Well, more importantly, what I thought was the reason I said I didn't think she had that in her, she was really wanting to test Star.
Yes.
She knew she had some information that she didn't think Star knew she had, so she used it.
And obviously she didn't.
Yeah.
Or she wouldn't have lied about it and confirmed that, whoops, she's lying to me.
Star tells her, no, I haven't found anything. And so now Eva knows that she can't trust her. And then Eva says to Star, hey, I don't think we need 2 puzzlers. What did you think about that? She's basically saying we don't need Thomas and Bianca. We could vote one of them out. Pulling Star into the athletes group, I guess.
I think she was maybe still testing her. to see if maybe they had an alliance or something. If she was protective of Thomas and Bianca or one or the other.
You know who was protective? Star. She went right to Bianca and Thomas and shared that Eva had said that.
She did. Well, Thomas is the one that's, he's got a lot of options to go.
Mm-hmm. It really worked on Bianca when Star brought that over. Because Bianca's first response was, well, we don't need 2 jack people either if they don't need 2 puzzlers. She's okay now working with Star and Thomas to get Eva out.
Yeah.
They can get Star out later. Thomas tells us he's going to help Star get that idol, even though he knows Star's a wild card and a little risky, but this is Survivor, and that way they can take control.
They all seem to really like Joe, though. They all want to work with him, seems like.
Well, you definitely want to keep him in the challenges at this
you
point.
want him on your side.
Yeah. You're not eager when he can provide such advantages.
At least till you get close to individual immunities.
Speaking of which, on to the immunity challenge, immunity/reward here on day 7 of the 2-day cycle. We're going to have 1 caller, and then you'll have a pair of tribe mates and then a single, and those 3 are going to be blindfolded, and the caller's going to try to navigate them to find 3 bags. Each of those bags has a key, and then they'll unlock the puzzle pieces with those keys, and then the caller's going to guide 1 blindfolded castaway to solve a Survivor slide puzzle. And there's reward. There's, in the form of some comfort, there's a big tarp and 2 hammocks for the first winner, and then a small tarp for the second winning tribe.
Were you at all surprised at how they all reacted to Kevin being the one voted out? That got a lot more reaction than Stephanie being voted out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they seem to sort of expect that of her.
Yeah, they didn't seem to expect Kevin.
Yeah, they didn't know how bad he was hurt, I think, too.
Yeah.
Okay, Civa sits out Kyle and Charity, and Lagi sits out Eva and Bianca. And for our callers, we've got Kamilla for Civa, Shauhin for Lagi, and Cedrek. I was surprised it was Cedrek for Vula.
Well, he did a pretty good job as far as he was loud and they could hear him for the most part.
Well, yeah, he couldn't compensate for the fact that Say didn't know her left and kept getting confused by that.
There's not much you can do about that.
People who have trouble with their left and their right, yeah. What about Joe's performance right in the beginning? He memorized the path before he put his blindfold on to go over to the first key and dump it.
Smart.
And went really fast.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
He was there and back while the other people were still trying to, get organized.
Well, yeah, and Say and Justin, who were tied together, they were just having all kinds of trouble getting there, like we were just talking about.
That was just a bad match, I think. I think they might have been better off to put Say and Mary together.
Kamilla seemed to be doing pretty good as a caller, getting her folks around.
Yeah, she did. I agree. And Shauhin was good, too.
Mm-hmm. And we got to see David bang his head.
Over and over and over.
Yeah, multiple times. Ran into things.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not sure about those children now because he kept running into everything.
Which is why they do this stupid blindfold challenges.
They do.
For guys to run into things.
It's like there should be some padding or cushioning up front for everyone so that they don't get hurt. And their heads. They should put helmets on them. How many posts did he go head into? Even
though Joe went so fast on that first one, it was Civa first to get all 3 bags. And Lagi wasn't too far behind. They got their 3.
But then Lagi jumped ahead.
Yeah, they ended up winning that first immunity. Shauhin was guiding Thomas on the slide puzzle, and Kamilla was guiding Mitch. And Lagi
I actually
got done,
thought
and then
Civa could lose. I was already going, oh no.
It did look like Vula was catching up a little bit. But yeah, they had so much time. It's the classic thing. It just keeps taking Vula so much time to get to the end to start working on the puzzle that they don't really have the chance. And once again, they're headed back to Tribal Council for the 3rd time.
Well, I was glad to hear Jeff say drop your buffs on next on because, when it gets to this point, it's like, okay, enough already.
Yeah.
Half the tribe is gone.
Right. Are you wrapping up? Did you want to talk
I'm not
about?
wrapping up.
Oh, okay. You jumped right to next time on Survivor.
I know.
So we got a journey after the immunity reward challenge.
Flexibility. Okay, go baby.
And winning tribe Loggy gets to choose who goes. They're going to send Bianca from their tribe, and then they choose who goes from Vula. And it's the pizza man, because they're not quite sure what his name is. So Justin's going, and then he's got pizza on his shirt, so that's easy to make the call that way. And from Civa, they choose Kamilla. And Vula continues without a flint.
And Justin is rightly concerned about if he loses his vote.
Yes.
Because they all know that's a possibility on journeys.
Mm-hmm. So before they show the journey, they go back to, we follow Vula back to camp, and Mary decides that she's going to run a con on him.
I thought that was awesome. I really did.
Yeah. She knows she's at the bottom. It's their third time going. There's no surprises for her. They're going to come for her. So she's going to play it cool, pretend she's got an idol. And it immediately concerns Say.
Yeah. She went.
Wait, Mary's not looking? How is she out swimming? And she went out way far swimming.
She's all relaxed. She's very confident. No, she's got some. I know she's got some. And then they'll come after me. And blah, blah, blah.
Say wouldn't listen to Cedrek at all. Cedrek said, no, she knows. She's on the bottom.
Yep. But so it didn't matter.
Say he's got to come up with a counter plan. So we'll split on Mary and Justin then. Split the votes. Just in case she either has an idol or she gets lucky with shot in the dark.
It was interesting because Cedrek didn't appear to receive that well.
What do you mean? He didn't agree with her.
She said, I know. And I thought, yes, I think he might vote her out. I was hoping Justin wouldn't lose his vote, and then because she wanted to target Justin, that they would target her instead. So.
Yeah, that's the part that rattled Cedrek. That's what you're talking about, right?
Yep.
Just where he says Justin's my right-hand guy.
Yep.
And then but he still finds a way to be wishy-washy about it. And he'll say, and he said, we'll see what Justin brings to the table.
Okay, let's go take a look at the journey.
Yep. So we got Bianca, Kamilla, and Justin arriving at the beach.
And Bianca tells us journeys usually don't end well. We know this. And there's 3 different paths to choose from.
Yeah, we just like before, you go left on the beach, right on the beach, or into the jungle. And so let's look at what it says, because you and I were going back and forth on, was there an opportunity? Could they was there any way that Justin could have afforded losing his vote? And so when they get to the beach, it says, today you will have a chance to earn an advantage in the game. A game awaits on either side of the beach, and in the jungle, pick a direction. Good luck. And
it doesn't say anything about you can choose to play or not. It's pretty much you will do this and you will do that. Everything just
well, today you will have a chance to earn an advantage in the game. You have to choose that direction. And there was discussion of this before. I'm pretty sure that Dalton Ross asked Probst about this. And there is an option in some of these advantages on the journeys, rather, where you could choose not to play, and therefore your vote
that way,
would not be at risk. I think this one has that opportunity too.
I do not think it does.
Because this doesn't absolutely say you have to play. Bianca
did when she shared with Thomas. She said she didn't have a choice.
Yeah, my counter to that is that is absolutely her perception. It doesn't mean that's an absolute.
I hear you, but I think it was.
So when in any case, they all choose to play, so nobody sat out. But I think there is that people need to recognize that that if you don't play. Yeah, when we were talking about it before, I forget exactly which one it was. It's like three or four seasons back, maybe. And the idea was, well, if you just took that thing and chucked it in the ocean and didn't engage in the game at all, then you wouldn't be at risk and you couldn't lose your vote.
Oh, I think you could.
But if you made it to the table, it said, today your vote is at risk. You will roll these 7 dice. Flames are good. Skulls are bad. After each roll, you place the flames or the skulls in their spot.
And you will roll until an outcome is decided.
If you got here and started, yes.
You will. 4
flames, if you can get 4 flames, that's an extra vote. But if you end up with 4 skulls, that's a lose a vote. Yeah. So it's 6-sided die. I think there's 1 skull, 1 flame, and then there's 4 blanks, basically, is how the die is set up.
Because before they had always said, if you don't choose to play, then this is what will happen, and things will just stay. They have done that in past seasons.
It was really nebulous. You would have to exercise the initiative to not engage, to not put your vote at risk. Everything read like, it was a given that you were going to. But
okay, y'all have to settle it for us, because we are not going to agree.
We're not going to agree.
We are going to have to agree to disagree.
All right, so moving on.
I can live with that.
We see Bianca roll first, and she ends up losing her vote. And then we watch Kamilla's rolls, and there's some good tension there. But she ends up with an extra vote, and then Justin, it just goes bad for him. It's like skulls, and he's lost his vote.
He didn't even have any hope. At least Bianca had hope.
Yeah, Bianca had some hope, and Kamilla's was exciting. It was dramatic. She started out with 3 skulls, and then got 1 flame, and then rolled again and got another flame. And then with 2 dice left, she got 2 flames and ended up winning with an extra vote. And she was the one that recognized that the game of chance for losing your vote is just the worst possible position to be in. It did break her way this time, but for the other 2, for Bianca and Justin, they both lost their vote.
Well, and that could certainly throw a little kink into Thomas, Bianca, and Star's plans too. Since Bianca now doesn't have a vote.
Yeah, she might rethink that, targeting Eva. Yeah.
Well, and, basically it didn't work well for Justin either. Okay, how did you feel about how they handled it back at camp?
Kamilla just said, I think she did the right thing.
With that particular tribe.
Right, because you have to read the room.
Yes.
And given how things were going, it's better if you keep it a secret. I just think, but that comes with a challenge. There's a tax with lying and all that makes it that much harder to pull off.
And they kind of know by now what's going to be happening on journeys. So they're already going to be skeptical to whatever they say.
So Kamilla says this tribe's just so honest. She went ahead and told them that she got an extra vote, and they all celebrated that the Civa tribe has an extra vote. All that's going to be meaningless if they get split. Yeah. But at this point in time in the game,
and
they're on
know
day 7.
Use it against her if they need to.
Which is right around lunchtime, they say, that she's just in time for lunch.
Yep. And then Bianca lied
and told them that she did not risk her vote. Yeah.
No, I didn't risk
as a possibility. Vote. And she described a previous challenge that they seemed to recognize. And she lied so well that Thomas believed her.
He did totally. He totally bought it.
But he went ahead and said, "You're scary because you lie so well." Shauhin didn't share that with Thomas when he was surprised at how devious Thomas was. But Thomas went right ahead and told Bianca, "You're scary. You're a good liar." And then he said, "But I'm not going to tell her that I got one."
No, he didn't share it, but she did.
Yes, he let that imbalance ride.
He's like, "No, I'm more evil than her. She just doesn't know it yet." So he's liking his little bit of villain role there.
What did you think of Justin when he got back to Vula, the thing that he came up with, that he himself said, "I couldn't even remember the details to keep it straight"? I thought, okay, that's creative. And then he said that, and I thought, you're going to goof this up.
Well, I thought so too. And I thought they would see through that. But they didn't seem to. They weren't so
It wasn't their primary focus, yeah.
And certainly Cedrek bought it hook, line, and sinker.
So we'll know. I did.
But Justin, if you have them expecting some type of reward, how's that going to go over when then they're all disappointed and then blah, blah.
Well, he did eventually cover that because he said, "We'll know tomorrow what I got. It'll be comfort or food or nothing. And so the 4 white, whatever it was, the question marks he said that he got, then maybe that meant nothing. So he did have a cover for it, although it did seem like he was having trouble keeping his own story straight.
Yep, I agree. But hey, it seemed to work.
Yeah.
For the time being. But.
And he knew that he was at risk, and he was concerned because he tells us that strategy is not Cedrek's strong suit.
Well, I thought he was actually going to tell Cedrek. And then when he didn't, I thought, ooh, okay, well.
Yep, he declares, I believe Justin. So now the concern is, does Mary going to end up playing a shot in the dark, or does she have an idol?
Well, Say is absolutely certain she has an idol, isn't she? Mary does?
She's more concerned that either contingency means that she becomes the target. So she's trying to compensate for that. Were you surprised that Cedrek told Justin that Say was going to vote for him?
I wasn't, because I was still hoping that they would target her.
Target Say, being her.
Yeah, and that she would go home. So I could get a point, Cedrek.
And Justin's adamant when Say asks him about what Mary has, and he declares Mary doesn't have anything.
Well, that was because Cedrek told him she'd vote.
But Mary's still
playing
playing mind games.
Reassure her.
Would say she is
Mary did
in
that
her
beautifully,
head.
in my opinion, that she did commit to the bit.
Yes, that's where we got the title for the episode, was in this exchange that we see between those two.
And I actually do quite respect that.
Yeah,
and
that's
that
some good
she
gameplay.
Stayed with it. I would have had a hard time not wandering out there and looking for an idol. Now she can still go back and look.
Well, this worked to what she declared in the very beginning, which was, I'm awful at looking for stuff. So this gave her
and she doesn't
the cover.
Want to.
Yeah, she was much better off committing to the bit than trying to put effort in for something she didn't want to do to begin with. So, yeah, I think she was able to redirect more of her energy into that.
I think she really enjoyed playing the role. And,
Okay, Tribal Council, night 7.
I'd like to hear her side of the story.
Probst wants to get a gauge, he tells him. Are you somber? Are you resigned? He asks Cedrek.
Well, they just need a shot of adrenaline.
According to Cedrek. He had to make it a doctor thing.
Yep. And Mary tells them right off, I'm at the bottom. I know I'm at the bottom.
I don't feel any part of a we here in this tribe. It's hard for me to think of a we, she says.
And says, my name's been written down every time.
Yeah, she's catching votes too. So she's not going to let Mary have that moment. She has to get in there and say, well, I'm getting voted for too.
Then they turn around and talk about their mutual respect for each other, which I don't know. I think should have made the guys nervous.
Probst wasn't really having any of it though. It's like, you guys are a tribe, but you're so dysfunctional and you won't even commit to working to try to make things better.
And Justin just basically says, well, he doesn't know how the vote's going to go tonight. And I feel like Say really was struggling.
Well, she said she knew how it was going to go, but the shot in the dark, she declared to Probst, looking him in the eye, is horrendous. She hates it because she can't control the outcome.
Yep. I think Mary read her very well, what would really get to her, And then I thought one of my favorite parts was Say's reaction when Mary got up to play the idol, she thought, and ended up it being the shot in the dark. So
either way, she's declared I knew it, and she had discussed both outcomes. I like that Probst just said, I'm just going to interrupt you. Let's get to the vote.
I think
he was tired of them dancing around what he was saying, I think. Okay, turns out Mary's safe.
Yeah, how about that? That was a big smile on her face.
Yeah.
I expected the norm, not safe.
Mm-hmm.
And Probst just pulled out that big old safe. And they had to revote. I'm not sure where Cedrek's head was, really.
He didn't, even though Jeff kept telling him that there were only 2 votes being cast.
I don't think he
didn't register
that yet.
Somehow Justin doesn't have a vote.
Well, but Cedrek nor Say had had picked up about that. Because you know how Prope's like, okay, that's 2, that's
Well,
enough.
he reacted, yeah. But Prope said he said the first vote for Mary does not count, and then he said 1 vote left, and Cedrek reacted, and it was for Mary. So you got to revote. You can't vote for Mary.
But he wrote say both times. So that's another reason that she needs to be voted out, because I can't say her name right.
Yeah.
But my bad.
So second reading, Justin catches a vote and Say catches a vote.
Okay, but here's where I started to think, wait a minute, because then it becomes clear that, and Jeff made it very clear.
Yep.
I have to out you, Justin.
Yep.
Justin does not have a vote.
Has not voted at all tonight. Just in case
because
it wasn't clear.
Hadn't connected those dots yet. That's the second vote. Identical vote was where they really connected the dots.
This is probably one of the most confusing tribal councils that we've had, even though there's so few votes.
Well, and I don't think, and this is just me, but I had the feeling Cedrek doesn't know the game well enough to know that he could get sent home.
Right.
With drawing rocks.
Probst does end up exactly explaining that to him.
Exactly, yes. But I don't know.
Okay, so he sends him back to vote again and says, okay, so Say can only vote for Justin. Cedrek can vote for Say or Justin.
Yep.
Say declares Cedrek is the worst when she goes up to vote. And it's tied again. 1 vote Justin, 1 vote Say. So Cedrek voted Say.
And Jeff declares it deadlocked.
Yeah, and it turns out, and as he declares a historic moment, only Cedrek can make the choice. He's
Usually
the only voice left with a vote. Right.
And if they could come to a unanimous decision, okay, fine. But none of that applied here because neither Mary nor Justin had a vote.
I'd been sensing all along this kind of Private Upham energy. You remember Upham from Save It Private Ryan?
Vaguely.
Oh, anyway, he ends up getting one of the guys.
More than a me movie.
Okay, getting one of his guys killed because he can't take action. He can't do anything. Cedrik's got that kind of energy. He's got Upham energy. And the way that this ends up being resolved just was so... Say saved herself. To Save's credit, Say is, by far the best player on this tribe. There's no question to me. And she immediately goes into guilting Cedrek. And he basically falls for it.
Yeah, but that might just be Say.
What?
In any given situation, she might have slid right into that naturally, and being hurt and upset with him and, guilting him or whatever else worked. But she did it well, and it worked. To my dismay, I was already counting a point.
Full points, yeah.
I was like, wow, I might actually get a vote off. But anyway... Neither here nor there.
Why Cedrek would want to put up with more of any of that energy from Say is beyond me. But he just basically, he gave in.
The thing that got me was that, okay, if he hadn't voted the same way after he found out that Justin...
didn't have a vote and had withheld that from him.
And didn't tell him. But, he kind of still... I don't know. It was so wishy-washy to me.
Yeah, it's just no spine there. It seemed from the edit, we don't know everything that was said. They always don't show us that because of the time restrictions, even with the 90-minute episodes. It seemed like Mary missed a huge opportunity to get rid of Say.
Oh, yeah, we were both like, tell him, no way, we can't work together. You know we can't work together, and why are you even keeping her around here? We can't work together.
A multitude of reasons, different approaches we were discussing about how Mary could have influenced that. But instead, Mary just kept checking with people. How are you? Are you okay? Putting hands on.
I think it was just that she was safe, so she didn't really care what happened.
I think so, too. But I see it as a missed opportunity. Mm-hmm. She could have influenced Cedrek to stick with his first primary alliance with Justin over Say, and to highlight the fact that Say is guilting you to your decision. Is that who you want to play the game with?
But that might have been more fun for her to watch.
To watch Say work him like
Yeah.
that? Maybe. It certainly took less energy.
Remember, she respected all the other things Say was doing. She's like,
That doesn't mean she's not going to act in her own best interest. And I think
not at all.
her game would have been more served with having Say out.
But if she was just kicking back, enjoying
Instead, yeah, which seems to be more in line with her nature. Mm-hmm. Instead, Justin is gone.
Boo Cedrek.
Boo Cedrek. Yeah, up 'em. Well, what did you think overall? Where are you at the end of the episode?
Boo Cedrek.
Yeah.
I think I might have had a few choice words, but
Yeah.
they weren't very nice ones. But
We both had Justin safe, so it was like 3-point in the fantasy league.
I didn't even know
Right.
I had Justin safe.
Oh, okay.
Because I wasn't going to pick anybody safe on that tribe. But then when I went to make my picks, I think Sunday or Monday, I was going off of, well, who haven't I chosen? And I told you this afternoon, I think, oh, no, I'm sure I didn't choose anybody on that tribe as safe. When you said, oh, I chose so-and-so as safe. And no, I didn't do that. And then when I went, yes, I did. I chose Justin because I hadn't gotten a point off him yet. So dang it.
Good on Say for saving herself. She knew what she was dealing with. She put the time in with Cedrek, and she was able to manipulate him to keep her.
Well, maybe they won't be on the same tribe, and we can, maybe Cedrek we can see another side of it. I would like to see something different because, she did have a point and made a good point. I haven't lied to you.
Because there's no way for him to know that.
Everything. Well,
That's what he failed to consider. He just folded
That's right.
under the
Just
pressure.
folded, yeah.
That if Mary, again, if she would have jumped in just a little bit to help clear his head on that, she could have ended up with a different outcome.
But
I
did
think.
not happen.
Yeah, it didn't play that way. So I enjoyed the episode.
Yeah, I did too.
Was disappointed in the outcome, but certainly can see how well Say played that, and she was right to worry. Again,
She was.
her gut, her senses of the game definitely continue to serve her well in that regard, and she was able to squeak out this time.
Yep.
Next time on Survivor, drop your buffs. They're doing some tribe shuffling. There's 15 left. I'm guessing they'll do 3 tribes of 5. I wish they wouldn't. I don't like tiny tribes, but I wish they would do 2 tribes of 7 with 1 person out to return after the next tribal council, just so there'd be more going on.
Okay. Well, then we can hope that maybe they will shake it up, but maybe not too.
So this looks like it triggers Eva. She starts the hand clutching thing that she had told Joe about to watch out for. So this is going to be a test for Joe. Is he going to be able to step in and help her get through that? Because that shook her.
Well, and if Joe doesn't get chosen to go with her on wherever she ends up, how is she
Will she
going
be able to
cope with
recover?
that? Yes. Will she be able to let go of Joe and start over with getting to know the other people and start with someone else? And what surprised me was Kamilla was freaked out too.
Well,
She said she was freaking out.
Civa and Lagi have a lot of good synergy energy going in their tribes.
Yes.
And so to lose that at this point in the game is going to shake you no matter what.
Well, not only that, she thinks she's in a very solid 4 alliance too.
Yes. All of a sudden, you had a majority alliance. Now you have no idea the way things are going to go.
Exactly.
And as she had stated before she began that game of chance, she's not good with those situations. Leaving it up to luck isn't her idea.
Into it by this time already.
Yeah, there's lots of major investing going on.
I mean, it may not be that many days for them, but it's still an awful lot of work put in. And, it's a lot to have that, feel confident and secure somewhat.
They're almost
at
a third of the
least.
way through, right? So
Third?
it's only 26 days, so yeah.
Okay. Well,
They just finished day 7, and this will be day 8 when this happens.
well, I'm excited that they're going to switch it up and
See who can adapt, right?
yeah. And how will they play differently if they're with a lot of different people?
Or will we get one of those strange things that happens where it's majority of one tribe and one, clear minorities on 2 other tribes or
Yeah, I hope that
minority
doesn't
alliances.
happen where there's not.
Yeah.
I'd really like to, if they're going to shake it up, I'd like to see them shake it. But, oh well, could be the luck of the draw.
Yeah. Looking forward to seeing that for sure. How about a JSFL update?
All right. There are 3 people tied for first place with 15 points. 20 people lost their USB this week. 88 people lost a safe point. Me. 16 people earned a vote-off point. Congratulations.
Wow, 16 people had Justin going?
Yeah,
Good grief.
they did. Well, I remember my whole theory about they could vote Justin out last week, and so I don't know why I put him safe, but okay. For the side challengers, with 12 points in first place, Anderson, Johnny, Lisa Ray, and Robert. With 11 points, Jeremiah, Justin, Parker, and Rebecca. With 10 points, Stacy.
3-point week for me.
And 9 points for Drew.
Thank you, brother Drew, holding down the basement.
No picks this week, Drew.
Good stuff.
3-3-3.
He likes to keep things interesting.
I know. It's just a challenge.
Yeah. All right. We've done the big broad strokes of the recap. We're looking forward to hearing what you thought about it. We'd love to have you join us in the next listener feedback show. The voicemail line 206-350-1547. Toll free 844-643-8737. You can record your own audio and send it in, or type it up in an email, and either Joanne or I will read it into the show on your behalf. The email is joanneandstacyshow@gmail.com. Feedback's due noon Eastern time on Saturday, and we ask that you keep your feedback in the 3-minute range. That helps us get the show together in a reasonable amount of time. Looking to hear your assessment of the castaways. How did that change for everyone this week, or anyone in particular? Who's impressed you the most? Who do you think's playing the best, and who's in jeopardy of going next? Who is not going to fare well in the shuffle and become an immediate target? Will we end up with a tribe that's overpowered with physicality or overpowered with puzzlers? What are your thoughts on that? Looking forward to hearing from you.
I'm still wondering how Cedrek put himself right back in the middle of the two women that can't get along.
That's probably the dumbest part of the whole thing. That just.
Or are we being too hard on him? I'm just like, why would you do that? And why would you even believe that they're even going to make an effort? What?
Given an opportunity to choose, Cedrek chooses poorly. This is my assessment of Cedrek at this point in the game.
And I don't know. I just thought for sure when she was pushing him, telling him, get up. Man, can't take a nap and go.
Make nice. You two have to make nice.
Okay, we will.
I didn't hear Mary say anything.
We promise.
Mary didn't chime in. What a knucklehead. Jesus, Cedrek, you disappoint us. We're looking forward to hearing what the other superfans thought of Cedrek's choice.
And it just happened.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we look forward to seeing how other people felt about Cedrek and what happened. So, good night.
Have a good one.